other people and bring to light the uniqueness that they bring and the special vibes that they give to everyone. So I do appreciate everything that you have done. Like, I know just tagging people isn't a lot, and maybe to you, but to me, it's, having someone recognizing everyone all in one little post, man, it means a lot because, I don't see everything in Twitter. Twitter is such a big space, man. And, man, I just wanted to come up and say that to you, man. I really do appreciate that.
Hey, no, yeah, I don't know what brought. I don't remember the daisy chain of rabbit holes that got me to that post. But I was like, yeah, no, and you're right. Taking it's weird, like tagging someone you would think isn't, liking and sharing a post or a space. It seems to be like I'll be in spaces with like 500 people, but there's only like 30 likes and maybe like half as many reposts or retweets and stuff. And I'm like, that's like one of the simplest, easiest things to do, going out of the way to like tag someone. And I actually had to like run to my computer to grab someone's name because it wasn't coming up, and I didn't want to lose that tweet and put it in drafts and forget about it. But yeah, no, I love that shit where, acknowledging people. It's I hope I sent you on some good rabbit holes there, because I could have filled up a couple pages of that.
Sure.
Getting to travel, and I won't hold it against you that you're a Crow fan, but because at times I am too. But yeah, no, I love Solana. As I like to say, my Christian name is player1taco.eth, but my bastard name is player1taco.soul. So
okay, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that. I mean, Seoul is my main home, but Crow I just got into because of Croots. My buddy from a server I'm in, he's actually a mod in there, so he sent me one out of good faith. And, he's one of the good ones too, man, in the space. And, it's just people that look out for everyone. Gamble over here, I know he's a listener, but, man, he will literally spend so much money on NFTs and just give them out to people. And I mean, he's also in Go-To-Words as well. And I want to give a shout out to him. I know there's only 4 people in this space, but the people that are in here, they probably all have good vibes, and everyone that's about to join, and Gemble, man, he just gives, man. And that's the reason why I literally I announced on Twitter, man, he's a GOAT, and he's really a good person, and that's really what I'm out for. It's just the people wanting to help others, people that want to give to community, people that are actually there, are there to talk to. He's a really good dude. So as soon as I see you tag all these people, I knew that you just know about them. There's something I don't know that you do.
Yeah.
And I went into all their Twitters and looked around, and I'm obviously, I hand select a lot of people. That's just me. It's only because I don't want anything bad in the community. I want all good vibes. I don't for instance, everyone has their own way of talking, and I understand that, and I get to know people, but I also don't want any fighting. I don't want any kind of FUD. It's just me as a person. I want everyone to be able to talk to each other and have a loving community, a loving vibe. So, when you did that, I know tagging isn't really a whole lot, but when you're tagging a really amazing amount of people that actually have really good vibes, that shows to me that you as a person understand what good people are. So that's why I joined the space, bro, because you really made it super easy for me, or like like tonight, for instance, to look into other people that bring good things to the table, that create a positive influence in the space. That because that's really what I want. And I want to recognize those people, even if other people don't recognize them, but you do. And I am so bullish on you, bro, that you do recognize them, because that makes me want to invite you to be a goat as well, because you're like the emissary of finding other goats in the space. And so, honestly, I do appreciate everything that you do. I know we just kind of met today, but everything that I've seen, all the people that I've looked into, man, they're 100% awesome. So I do applaud you for that, and I appreciate that.
Hey, yeah, no, uh, yeah, no, those are. It's one of those things, honored to know those people IRL, and know what they're building and what they're contributing. It's so yeah, they are all they're all goats. So yeah, um, it's it's good stuff. One of these things that we all do is it's just really hard to separate, I guess, sometimes, like the not noise, but people have bad days, people have good days, but what they continuously work to do, and that's one of the reasons why I love blockchain and why I'm in it, is the proof is in the pudding, consistency and transparency, you know
No, exactly.
you know
I
pe-
agree.
people get weirded out when they keep asking me, well, what's your real name? I'm like, Taco. And they're like, no, what's your real? I'm like, my name is Taco. And then they're like, well, why? And I'm like, well, multiple reasons, but number one is, if I were to tell you Steve Smith, you go look for Steve Smith, you won't find a single thing about Steve Smith. You look up
Exactly.
you look up Player One Taco, and you will see a very large history. And you might even find the other variations of Player One, when I was Player One Clash, or Player One Rival, or just Player One, and so there's that consistency piece. Or on the other aspect, if I tell you my name's Steve Smith, and you walk into a room and you stand next to some random person or someone, and you're like, oh, I know Steve over there, and they're like, who, Taco? You both then wonder why you know me as something else. And as many great projects I get part of, you know people always, they're like, oh, well, you'll get all these other benefits if you like change this to your name, or change your PFP. And I'll be honest, the closest PFP change I've looked at doing, is like a pudgy penguin. But you know I'm like, this is, I earned this PFP. And it took a month of work, but it was one of those things that I've had for, I think, up like 3 years now. So
Damn. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
The only change that I did to it is, because it was minted on, was it minted on Gnosis? I think it was minted on Gnosis. So I took the PFP, and I minted it through like Manifold, so I could make it an ERC, so I could put it as a real NFT. One of one.
That's awesome.
One of two. I made one of two because I don't know why I made two, but it felt right.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, love it. I love your vibes, bro.
Thanks. Yeah. But no, I'm like Gimbal too. It's sort of hilarious. That's how I onboard people into Solana. I buy a shit ton of rug pulled NFT projects on Solana, and I teach them how to use it, download a Phantom wallet, and then send them their first NFT, because I used to do that with like Shonky middle fingers, and teach them how to do it with like a MetaMask, and send them their first NFT. But yeah, Solana makes it so much easier, and there's so much amazing things we can do with Solana that we're just sort of starting to scrape the surface. And you know, the biggest hate I have to deal with people on is like, oh, well, it's been down like 9 times in the last year. And I'm like, yes, but it's still in beta. And they're like, oh, that's proof it's not decentralized. I'm like, it was literally voted to be turned off. That wouldn't that be like the most biggest form of decentralization? So Solana is going to hold its space for the simple fact of the communities behind it and how easy it is to onboard in, you know?
No, for sure, man. Solana communities are definitely they're man, they're loving communities, and they're strong too. So I'm not saying any other chain is not, you know,
Yeah.
because there's other chains that have really great communities that I'm in. But man, Solana, I got into in 2020, and I've seen some great things. You know, I came from ETH originally in Polygon, and you know, I've seen a lot of different communities, but you know, the community that stood out the most was Solana's. You know, even the rug communities, because I know you've heard of like Tesmaphoria and all those other you know, rug projects like More Bears, and you know, I'm a part of a lot of those derugs, like Divine Kids, for instance. I was involved with CryptoFlan and derugging most of those projects. I just help with them, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm a part of most of their teams. I did get the team assembled for Tesmaphoria, not like assembled completely, but there was a whole nother team of, in the beginning, and then some backed out, and then some new ones stepped in. And dude, a lot of those derug projects, man, they are thriving right now, and they're doing really well. And that's the other thing, is that like community will always stay. That's what makes me bullish on like just NFTs in general. I'm not going to just say Solana, because there's probably other chains out there that are doing amazing things that I'm not aware of. And this is why I reach out to all different chains, because like, you know, not only one chain should be recognized, it's multiple. And you know, Solana's doing great things, and you know, multiple rug projects are getting derugged, and they're led by great people and great leaders. And I'm sure there's projects out in East that are doing the same thing, and in Kronos and Sui and you know, Aptos. I know there was multiple rugs
Yep.
when it was popular. Rug after rug. You know, I get it. You know, it's going to happen, but you know, just recognizing people that are doing great things is, you know, is all I want to do. And to start with that base format and then work my way from there is my main goal. But yeah, man, I'm glad you're in Solana too. I've seen a lot of people with like .eth, and they're actually huge Solana fans as well. So that makes me super happy that like they're you know, versed in many chains, and that's really all I could ask for. It's amazing that people are kind of like exploring different chains, and like AVAX too. You know, I know of a few AVAX projects, and I'm in their communities. I don't really hold a lot of NFTs in AVAX, but you know, I definitely hold in Solana and some ETH as well. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna talk your ear off, but I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Hey, no, you're 100% welcome. That, yeah. Like I said, I didn't want to spam your post with list after list, you know.
It's okay. It's okay.
But yeah, no, it's a good start, and I don't know. I think, yeah, it's heck, you know, it's where, you know, a huge shout out goes to mods of projects, you know, that hold the community together. And one of the things that like I've done, you know, is like a lot of the VCs that I've done work for, they've switched their gears. Instead of like looking for new projects, that they're looking for projects that have rugged, because like the hard work has already been done. The community has already been built, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a, you know, you look at it as, some people might look at it as a vulture effect. I'm like, no, they're they're going back and they're coming through on the promises that were originally made, because the community's already there. So half the cost of marketing is already gone. You know, one of the biggest rugs in Solana that I remember. I don't remember if you remember at Degen Town.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, I know that founder, the one that took over the project.
Yeah, like Senpai.
Awesome,
yeah, there's a Senpai and Raj, or Roj.
Yeah, Roj.
Yeah, you know, heck, we won't even talk about how much I lost with that wallet slip. I was degenning. I was doing too many double Ds. I was degenning after dark, degenning while driving. I was, degenning while distracted, degenning while talking about degenning on a Twitter space, and degenning. And I was like, oh yeah, I listened to all the Morse code messages in the campfire, and I bought, I missed the mint and bought out at 10, and now the Morse code tells me to just burn it. All right, I'm gonna do that. And so I burnt, and then yay, I got my resurrected a few days later, and then all of a sudden it was late night. I was driving from like some conference to drive to like Dallas to fly to like Paris for ECC, and it was like raining, and I was on a Twitter space, and all of a sudden it was posted like stake your degens, and I was like, yes, finally I'm in on that. And then Phantom's like transaction. I was like, ah.
Oh shit.
So that one, lost all the LP tokens, that, were great farming tools. The passive income in Solana is amazing. I love degenning and LP pools in Radium and Orca,
of course.
So, but yeah, no, it was one of those things to where, watching what Senpai, going back into Degen Town spaces and just sort of listening to him for a minute, then getting to meet with him at like Degen NFT, made me really bullish on the rebuilds of communities, and the ability of mods, because we were always sort of underlooked. Like, so yeah, there's so many amazing people in Solana and on every chain, and some people make fun of me because I'm a little bit of a polka dot maxi over, but I like to just say I'm chain agnostic. And, TB is here, and me and him share a project that, started on, brought a lot of people from ETH into the community, that were like ETH only maxis. But our project sort of, then slowly expanded to 10 chains, and having to teach people how to like bridge. That was a fun thing to do time and time again, and getting people sort of knowing that there's more than one chain out there that they can find financial independence on, or just interact with, is always a fun thing. So
yeah, man, that's awesome that you help people with that. It's not a lot of people know how to invest into other chains, or know about all their wallets, know about all their marketplaces. Dude, it's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. Like I have 2 kids, and I work a full-time job and a part-time job, and I do this. And I don't always have time to like learn about all that stuff and dive into it. And I've had I've been a community manager for D-Goddess in Solana for a while. When I first entered Solana, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know what Twitter rating was. I knew nothing. In 2020, I just came like empty-handed, no knowledge, nothing. And the only people I knew were the people that asked for chatting services and offered to help boost the server and all this stuff. And after a while, I didn't I ended up learning so much from multiple people, and knowing what a Degen was. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know anything. So learning from probably a handful of 15 to 20 people that I actually really connected with. Being offered a mod position to start, learning how to be a mod, then learning how to be a CM, and learning how to do that. And dude, it's been a crazy ride. And up until now, I've met so many people. I've talked to Roj probably a handful of times, and we've shared our music with each other. And because he writes, I write. There's so many people that write songs in NFTs. It's crazy. Whether it's hip hop or lo-fi or some kind of hardcore or metal, we all write something, right? And I've networked with so many people over time that it just became super easy at one point where like I just felt like I could be myself. And dude, that's like the main thing that I love about this space is that I can literally go out and reach to people and be myself. And it's wild because like at first you're scared, you're scared to be yourself. You don't know like what you should be. You don't know who to be. It's only because you want to fit in, right? And then after you get some kind of name for yourself or just recognized by someone in the space, you kind of let loose a little bit and you start showing your true colors. And that's what I really love is that you're able to show yourself for who you are, and people end up really respecting you or have something against you. But everyone speaks their own minds. But I've connected with so many people in here, and I've developed really good relationships. We have For the Failed over here. I met him in some form on Twitter. He gifted me something for my birthday from the project he's in, and dude, I appreciated that so much. And Degen Ghosty, she's a killer artist. She's on multiple chains and has multiple avenues of selling her NFTs. And dude, I mean, she's amazing. Gamble I met through Dope Saviors, and I couldn't thank him enough for how much he gives to people. He doesn't necessarily do like anything for me in particular, right? He's just a good person, and that means more to me than actually doing something for me. I don't care about me, man. Like, it's all about everyone else in this space, and making sure everyone's taken care of and everyone's happy and everyone feels like they belong and like they are appreciated. So transforming from being nothing to 100% everything you could actually think of is such a dream. It's like a miracle because IRL, man, shit gets crazy, and you can't control everything in your life completely, right? Some things are out of your control, but for sometimes when things get rough in real life, you jump into NFTs and you're with people that you have been communicating with for months, and they're there for you, man. And dude, I can't thank this space enough for giving me such a loving feeling. And all I want to do is give it back to everyone. I just want to release all my knowledge. I want to give back. Appreciate the people that are doing things the way I started doing it, with knowing nothing and then developing relationships. I want to appreciate those people. So I appreciate you, Taco, man. Like, you have just hearing you talk, and you develop so much knowledge over the course of time. And I really do want to give a shout out to you in particular, because you have actually showed me that I'm not the only one that has developed multiple relationships and have grown in this space. I'm sure you started off the same way in some form at some point. So, but you're still, a positive dude and still, recognizing people, and that's what I love to see, man. Like you are a fucking goat, bro.
Thank you. No, I like this. I'm just a degen in space. Yeah, no, yeah. Thank you. No.
It's okay. Sorry, I go on rant sometimes, but I just want you to know that you're appreciated, man.
Thank you. Yeah, no. TB knows that it's hard. I'm horrible at taking compliments, and yeah.
Taco, I'll help you. Good. It's nice to meet you. My name's TV, right? Come here. I only know Taco a little bit. A few months, let's just say, right? And everything you think that you said, you know what I mean, that you suppose about how he connects. There's a better word, but connects with people and stays connected with people, and he's so generous to people, in particular with information, right? I've helped him, I've asked him the most basic of questions. I'm sure he's had to answer a million times, and he's given me every detail on it. You know what I mean? He doesn't give me the shit answer. He gives me he's basically he's like, are you sitting down? Are you ready? Your pen's in your hand? Okay, go. And he'll give me all the data, you know what I mean? And TJ too, to be honest, just because he's down there right now. Taco.
TJ's a goat.
It's for me, just to put in perspective, TJ is just a godsend, just an absolute godsend, right? I would have never. It's the same about everyone. Everyone who I've met has helped me to some degree or another. That's the truth. But TJ has helped me tremendously, just tremendously. I can deny TJ basically all the time, and I do.
But TB, I don't I've told you 1,000 times, and I'll tell you again. Don't sell yourself short. You and me talk late, a lot of times, but then you're a magnet too. You've been bringing more and more people and onboarding more people into Web3 for the simple fact of this is what I know so far. But and these are the people to go to get, and so you drive that interest too, so it's you're not, one of the things that I might be taking a page from Goat is it's not just being a black hole of information and taking it in and only keeping it for yourself, I did that for almost 5 years, almost 6 years, until I started making content and stuff like that, but working for projects and just, collecting information and, but you do you're not a black hole either, and so, this is how I redirect, as I acknowledge others that are doing amazing things too. So TB, I think what you do, and you might undersell yourself and think I didn't do anything. Well, as I like to say, when I talk about the starfish story, it mattered to that one. So, yeah.
Well, look, Taco, to be honest with you, the first night I met you, you probably, in a way, saved my life. The people, without naming anybody, somebody was trying to, because I'm new and everyone knows it, but I'm ballsy too and everyone knows it. There was a group of people trying to talk me, basically talk me into Tao. And you helped me understand what a Tao is. None of them, Taco, this is a fact. You know how many people I know and what I'm talking about here. How many of them I knew. Not one of them would tell me what a Tao was. That's the first night I met you. That was the thing that was on my mind. You helped me an awful lot. More than you understand. You know what I mean? It's just the truth. A lot of people do that. To be honest, there's a lot of people in blockchain world, whatever. They kind of keep an eye on me, even though I'm new, right? You know what I mean?
Well, I think I've seen a lot of this stuff going on recently, and I mean, with the Go to Ward company, emissary had kind of come to me and he's like, "Hey man, do you want to be co-founder of this?" And I was like, "Of course, this is amazing. You're a great person. It's a great idea," and it fleshed out better than I could have imagined for now, so far, I should say. But I think the new meta is, and it's high time, and it's not just going to be like a little trend, it's the truth, it's knowledge is power, and it's all about who you know and how true you are, because there's just been too much scammy shit and scammy people, scammy influencers. There's just way too many gimmicks out there that prey upon new people that come into the space. And I know for a fact that I wish I would have met a collaborative group of authentic individuals when I first came into the space, but for 95% of people, it's trial by fire, and unfortunately, a lot of that fire is losing a fuckload of your money because you come in with a disillusionment of, I'm gonna make a fuck ton of money, and in some cases, right off the hop, you might, and that's even worse because then you're only introduced to the making money aspect or the gambling and winning right away. It's kind of like a casino. How if you start rolling in a casino and right off the hop you hit big and you're like, all right, well, I'm going to put this all back. It's very similar in that regard. Is if you don't learn the pitfalls of the entire industry first, well, you're going to fall in those fucking pits. And until you can learn to avoid them, it's in anybody's best interest to not play around with a lot of capital when you first pop, unless you have a lot to lose, then that's fine. It's everybody's own decision, and even when people get rugged, like straight up scammed, as sad as it is to say, you really have nobody to blame but yourself. Even though, yes, you can blame the person who scammed you or the group of people who led you astray, that's the way it goes, it's like the dark web of the financial institution. There's pros and cons, and unfortunately a lot of the cons will come out and bite you in the ass unless you're aware of them. So far I've been seeing a lot more collaboratives popping up of artists and individuals who want to help other people, and really it's just, what's the utility? There is no fucking utility. You're just there to hang out, and you're all just hanging out, having a good time, kind of letting each other know, like you're saying, giving the knowledge back to the community. And some might agree with you, some might not, but it's up to you to disseminate what knowledge you take, or what knowledge you decide, maybe I should look into this a little further before I take another step in this direction, right? And when you're with a group of people who are a bunch of open books, it's a lot easier. There's a lot more ways to avoid getting screwed over, and you can really maximize your time here in Web3. And like Emissary was saying, you just you kind of unlock potential within yourself. And a lot of the really good builders and a lot of the really good projects that I've been a part of, they preach that, you know, that's that and that should be what's kind of given to people, is say, like, invest in yourself. That's the best thing you could do. Like, you can come into Web3 and not have a penny and not put a penny in and become rich just by working, like doing mod work or whatever, just starting there. And then, oh, you get a community manager role, but, you know, just moving on down the line. But then depending on how you treat it, if you treat it like, I'm just here to make money, well, you're just gonna make like whatever, a couple soul a week here and there, and then eventually they're gonna stop paying you because they don't think they need to pay you anymore, and then just a bunch of shit like that. But if you treat it like, I'm here to improve the community, I'm bringing something to the table here, and whatever you're bringing to the table, you're constantly working on your wealth of knowledge, in the individuals, you know, you're networking people together. Like, hey, I know this guy who's also in fashion. You're in fashion? Oh, you guys got some like in real life stores? Maybe hook those two people up. Like, you never know. The possibilities are endless here, and that's the real value of Web3. And I think that's really going to be kind of the watermark of 2023, is the discovery of the actual utility of the blockchain technologies that everybody's just been looking at and thinking, hey, it's just Bitcoin. Oh, that went down. Everybody lost all their money. Like, no. So they don't even know what's going on, you know? And a lot of the institutional investors are the ones that know what's going on. And they're buying the dips, you know? And sure, they're manipulating the prices as well. But at the same time, there's only so far they can go before he can't hold it back anymore. And we have a lot of, there's a lot of, you know, corporate entities, big name brands looking to get into Web3 last year, but that was the end of the bull run, you know? So unfortunately, it crashed out, and then people seeing a little too much volatility, so then they hold off, right? But they started doing their research at that point, a lot of them. And I think a lot of them are ready to come back in. Game developers, you know, clothing lines, everything, technology, because the technology is just increasing exponentially at this point, especially with the AI technologies coming into play. So it's really going to be an interesting year. And, like, bear market, that's the time to forge relationships, and it's the time to band together, because we're all going to be, well, you know, we'll get in when the bull market starts. We'll all know, so it'll be good, because I mean, we've been waiting long enough. We'll see if it takes another 2 years for it to be full swing, or we're in uncharted waters, in my opinion, at this point. So anything can happen, right? Geopolitical issues, blah blah blah, banks collapsing. Like, nobody's seen the bank collapsing, and then the price of crypto is skyrocketing because the bank's collapsing. Now people are losing faith in fiat currency again at an alarming rate to the government. So now the government's trying to roll out their digital currencies all around the world. It's a lot of shit's changing, and I don't think it's going to be a typical bull bear cycle like we've seen in the past. I think really bull run can kick off at any minute, or we might see another massive dip at any minute. You never really know, but this is the future. That's irrefutable.
I agree with you. You know, and I got to talk about this a couple days ago, and then, you know, it's been repeated a few times. Just on the financial education piece of those in crypto, those in blockchain, where, you know, like you say, seeing what banks are doing and knowing how that moves markets. I agree with you that like we'll know when the bull has come, because we're already sitting here waiting. And one of the things that I think a lot of people have learned, and is it's almost like Pokemon, though, because you don't know. One of the things that everyone is starting to learn is that it's not actual, like, sometimes projects that can make their ticker move. It's, the power of memes, and it's the power of communities behind them as well. I made a joke tonight that someone asked me if I had gotten into Nakamigos, and that was when it was like 0.30 something, and I was like, nope, I really liked it. I didn't want to buy any because I wanted to see it pump, because I know my track record is usually, after I turned down a handful of Bored Apes because I didn't like their art, I'm like, yeah, I should go. I should always go with my gut and buy what I don't think will do it, won't make it. But it's it goes back to what you were saying in Goat. The community is where the value is, but people are getting a lot more financially aware, thanks to thanks to what's going on. Yeah. So.
Yeah, dude. It's I mean, anybody who, the information's there. It's all happening right in front of our faces. So if you want to see it, if you want to learn from it, you can. And if you don't, then don't. Nobody's stopping you from not learning. Nobody's stopping you from doing nothing. And the beautiful thing is, it can be your full-time job. And I know a lot of people, it is their full-time job. And their backstories are very similar to mine. They just happened to get in 2017 instead of 2021. So that's all it takes, is to just stick around and never lose faith. I mean, sure, you lose faith and you gotta take a break, because it can become really fucking stressful, as I'm sure every single one of us is quite aware.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's there. It's perpetual. It's always there. So it's actually nice to take a break, and especially if you have some assets just chilling, you're just holding them. Just take a break and go smell the flowers for a couple months. Come back and see what happened. Like, that's probably the best way to go about it. Dollar cost averaging, if you're investing in a coin or whatnot, like even a project, if it's long-term project, the unfortunate part is a lot of times projects will just die out. So some people will come back like fucking 6, 8, 9 months later and be like, well, what the fuck? And it's like, well, unfortunately, like, you are a really good holder, but you invested in something that's just way too volatile, and it just wasn't there, So those things require a little more hands-on attention, but at the same time, you might be, as I'm sure many people in the crypto industry have been pleasantly surprised, just come back one day and look at their wallets and be like, oh, I could quit my job now, because you never really know. But it's it's always changing. The space is always changing, and I really like what I've been seeing lately. I can really only speak to 2 blockchains that I've been involved in extensively, which would be the Binance Smart Chain and Solana. And I got involved in BSC early 2021, just before SafeMoon had its second pump. And and I sold, man. I had $4,000 and I fucking sold at $16,000. I took my initial, and then I fucking invested in a rug pool shortly thereafter. And that was my welcome into the crypto industry. I didn't know what the fuck a honeypot, I should say. But anyways, so I spent most of my time on the BSC, probably a good 8 months there. And then after a while, like I made some, I lost some, made a lot, lost a lot, all the same. Probably broke even, I'd say, at the end of the day. And then I was like, fuck this, I'm done. And I just left. Quit crypto. Quote unquote, quit crypto, right? And then I was just like, I always loved Solana, but I didn't have a laptop, and at the time, Phantom Wallet wasn't compatible with mobile devices or Soulflare. And so I was like, wow, those are the only two that are on on everything, you know. So one day I looked and, oh, you know, the mobile application now, right on. So then I kind of started poking around and really liked the idea of investing in JPEGs rather than shit coins. So at least if you got anything, you're getting burned for a picture, you know. But if you were getting burnt, you were losing $20 here and there. You weren't losing fucking 1 bean, 2 beans. You weren't losing fucking $600-800 every time you got burnt, or slowly watch that get whittled down, you know. Whatever, I invested 1 soul into this, and it's either rugged or it's doubled or whatever, you know. It's just like the stakes are a lot lower. And then I soon found the one-of-one artist kind of collective on here, and I found that those people are just, you know, a lot more people than people looking to make money. They're just in it to have fun, and that's what a lot of the people I try to surround myself with are fellow artists. And then you meet the free thinkers, the philosophers, all that stuff, and then the people that know a lot about coding, the devs, all that. Like, they all seem to gravitate towards the authentic people. So you go there, and then you just meet. Like, I'll say this, it's probably the truest thing I said recently to myself, or I just know it to be true, is like, I can trust more people in Web3, I would say, with like my life, or telling me the truth, or I'll send you fucking $200 if you send me this. I trust more people in Web3 than I do in real life. Just doing that, and I don't know them from a fucking hole in the ground, and here I can't even trust this person I grew up with. You know, I've known them for 25 years, and you can't even trust them. And it's just like, yeah, you could get burnt, but chances are, you, like, if you've known a person Web3 well enough to say you know them, they're not gonna fuck you over for $20 or $40, you know. So it's a lot of good people, and I mean, I seen Emissary go talking in here tonight, and I've been kind of quiet lately, so I figured I'd better pop in and say, hey, see what's up. See Fareez down there. Fareez is a awesome artist. Everybody go check his shit out. Beauty. The guy's a beauty. He's quiet. He just listens, but he's a beauty. Anyways.
Yeah. No, you know, love meeting new artists. Are either of you coming to NFT NYC?
I fucking wish, man. Maybe next year I'll start making pilgrimages, I'm thinking, but I still got a little bit too much going on here at home to just have any kind of a break for an extended period of time. But I do really want to start coming to conventions and you know, actually meeting up with people.
All right, yeah, no, I've found that is sort of seems to be the, for me at least, where I get my I don't know, my power, my energy, and you know, and it's sort of amazing to sort of be able to get to meet all of the people, and I understand it, you know, life constraints, you know, we, you know, or those that, you know, we put all of our extra, you know, funding into you know, buying JPEGs, or, you know, coins or tokens and stuff like that, or into, you know, deferring for the future. that we can't afford to do the, events and stuff like that. But wherever you are, I do recommend like finding local events, usually like Crypto Monday, Eventbrite, and Meetup. Searching your local area, you will find so many different things, most likely. So,
I'll look into that for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, no, if I guess I will, if I don't meet you at a NFT conference or blockchain conference before, then I will see you at NFT NYC next year.
I think so, man. I really, I took a big change here recently, and I had to quit my job, and I've been on unemployment. But I think I'll be on unemployment till about September. I'm just looking after my kid, and I'm like, this is my time to actually try solidify money coming in through Web3 that I don't have to go back to work, So I've been doing some thinking and all that the last few months, and I got another few months to go, and we'll see how it goes. But even if you could just make supplementary income that you only got to work part-time, or you can find some in real life work that is tied to it somehow, then you're golden. And I mean, that's eventually the goal, is to be focusing on things like that, because you could go on a trip. Say you go on a trip to New York, you want to see the Big Apple, and then you're fucking going and seeing all these sites, and you're just spending money. But how amazing would that be to get to go to a conference where you're actually getting something back for what you paid, And I believe you that that's where your energy comes from, because I could talk crypto for days, and 95% of the people you meet in the street aren't going to have anything to say back to you, and just kind of glaze over.
Yeah. No, I not to steal you from your project, but have you heard of Zen? I no, it's I think basically yeah, you don't really so I'm the guy, I'm the weirdo that goes and gets gas, and while I'm pumping gas, I go and try to turn the gas attendant onto blockchain. I've done some of the things I've done is I turned my my crypto.com referral and my Coinbase referral into QR codes, so I don't even have to text someone or anything like that. But like, I have so many phone numbers in my text messages without any names, where it's just my referral links going to them, because I'm like at conferences, this is one of those things I'm going to give this is alpha, or this is alpha, or this is omega. I don't know. We go and we take over an area with these conferences, and we only look and see each other. But when is what I do, and I did this from the get-go, like, because it clicked. It made sense to me. Like, it was like, I would go to the wait staff, the servers, the facility staff, and I'm like, so what do you think of all of this? And they're like, well, friends have talked about it. I just haven't had any anything to any way to get a hold on it. And I'm like, hold up, let me solve this piece here. Yeah. And it's really hilarious, because I was talking with crypto.com support, or no, Coinbase support, and I had to laugh, because this is what I tell people to do, is I get them to download Coinbase, and I get them to download crypto.com and do the KYC thing. And I was like, Don't even put $1 into it. Don't even attach your bank account. It will teach you about blockchain. It will teach you about crypto, and it will give it to you for free. Learn and earn. And then it will tell you the next steps.
Rewards, yeah.
You know, and so at last count, and I found this out from Coinbase support, I had 83 active referrals pending bank account transactions, but they were active accounts, meaning like, oh, they started doing stuff and playing with it, but they took my advice and they never connected their and they're using it. And so I was like, because for a long time my running joke was, at blockchain events, I would go to strip clubs and I would onboard all of the gig workers and all of the staff into Web3, so I'd walk out with more referrals than money I spent.
Yeah, that's hilarious, actually. But it's true, though. I've actually met a few individuals, let's say colorful individuals. So we got drug dealers, we got strippers, prostitutes, people like that who use crypto as their form of payment method, and it makes sense. And I'm just like, you got that entrepreneurial mindset to you. That's awesome. But I've been, I'm in Alberta here, and as much as I'd like to think people are open-minded to it, is a lot of the mainstream shit, like especially the younger kids who you would think would be right into it, they just heard something from someone and then they don't listen to you, And I was like, okay, well, here's the information you need. Go check it out. Like, go look into it. And that's basically almost my speech word for word, is you don't really have to put any money into it and you can start getting money out of it. And I was in the construction industry for quite some time, so a lot of them a little more bozo oriented than somebody, let's say a university student, right? So it was a little harder sell, but I did get quite a few people. And it's like the mainstream news, and right now the mainstream news is unbelievably favorable towards crypto at the moment. So I think it's a really good time to actually start talking about it to people again. But I don't go out too often. I've literally went out for the first time in 2 months the other night. And other than that, I'm just sitting at home with the kids. But it's definitely, you can make money that way, man. It's definitely not a bad idea. And like you're saying, the in real life connections that you can forge from that as well are beneficial to yourself and them, because you never know the resources people have, or what they've done with their lives so far, and how they might want to tie that into Web3. And all of a sudden, that's all it takes is one little spark, and now you're in a firestorm, and things are going good. So it's interesting, man, and you never know. One day is your profile picture there actually kind of reminds me of something interesting that happened to me. Was it looks quite a lot like a KuCoin Loman.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know, man. I was trading on the trading bots there, and apparently and I don't know how this was derived from their statistics, but I was in the top 10 for like APR. I don't know what I won it off of, like what I did that good on, because I did not make a lot of money through trading bots on KuCoin, but apparently my statistics were up there, and I was within the top 10 volume traded through the trading bots, and I was like, what the fuck? Okay, so I got a free Loman sent to me, and I was like, right on. And I don't know what they're trading for right now, but I sold it at the time for like 300 USD.
Huh.
And that was
What they ended up doing, this is my understanding of it. I've had that for like 3 years now. When they first launched like their 10,000 first collection, it was like a month-long contest, and the top 10,000 or so won. And then your traits were based on your trading habits,
Really?
And so, obviously I made it in the top 10,000 of traders. I made it, and the number that your lumen was where your position was in trading. And I remember this only because I'm like, wow, okay, cool. My trading had me on one of the top platforms, and I got wrecked on some things, but I did end up in the green. And so I was like, I really want to know what their trading algorithm meant that got me good luck on my shoulder and my head wrapped up like I had been put through the ringer. So
that is actually fucking hilarious.
yeah,
You got the devil horns though, so that's pretty wicked.
Yeah, and so before you hopped on, what I told Goat was, I think, or no, I don't know if I was telling Goat or somewhere else, but like I've kept this PFP for so long that the only thing I've ever done with my PFP is that I took the JPEG and I minted it on Manifold into an ERC so that I could have it as an ERC as well. So that way I could make it an official Twitter profile.
Nice. That makes sense. That's a good way to get around that, actually.
Yeah, but what's really hilarious is one of the things I do at conferences is I wear I guess you could call it a Light Bright backpack from one of my NFT projects that I'm part of, that I'm an ambassador for. And so it cycles through my PFPs on my backpack. Just some of them, that I show off. And but this one is, that shows up there, and I've had so many people come up and be like, "Oh my God, you're Player One Taco, aren't you?" And they're like, and I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And they're like, I thought it was you because I saw your PFP, and that's got to be Taco, And so many people that I've gotten to meet IRL that only knew through like Twitter and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's fucking, I love that. Shit, what else was I gonna say? It's funny how synonymous you can become with your PFP,
Yeah.
It's cool though, because it means a lot to, individually and as a collective. Like, people just know you as that. So a lot can change when you change your PFP, man. You change your PFP to something shit, that's it. Game over. So you gotta start over.
Yep. Yeah, no. The only thing I've ever thought of changing it to was changing it to a pudgy penguin,
Yeah.
But even, because I just love being part of the igloo, but at the same time I was like, oh man, I don't know, that's the only one that sort of like pulls at the heartstrings, so I don't know, I might use like AI generative to like take my pudgy and take my lumen and see what comes out of that.
That'd be sick.
And then I'd mint that, and then I'd make that my PFP. But I do love that we call it profile picture or PFP instead of what I used to say was PP, because it's profile picture. So you got to touch my PP to send me a heart.
He's got such a sick PP. No kidding.
Can I tell TJ something else since it came up? They just reminded me of one of the things that I did to piss off the Hexicans. When Poor Pleb came out, TJ, I changed my name to Perpetual Pleb, and I put on a Poor Pleb picture. It drove them fucking nuts. That was the nail in the coffin, TJ, just so you know.
I love Poor Pleb.
Me too. Me too. In a way, right?
Yeah.
I do. I'm not trying to shit that.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey Taco, what were you talking about earlier there? Not to take you away from your own project. I was just getting I was giving the DoorDash guy my ID to get my fucking beer, and I couldn't answer. But I didn't quite catch the project that you'd mentioned.
I'm part of a lot of projects actually, in a way. But where you mentioned the backpack.
I thought you said something like said.
No. So my main project that I'm part of is called Clopper. I'm
Okay.
So that's been a project been building in the background for the last year, and we came out of stealth maybe 3 weeks ago, and I've been being a horrible teammate. And that's why I'm purging Discord tonight, because I can't get to any of my team messages because I just get spammed constantly in Discord, and I keep my DMs open for you never know. And but no, so officially at the top of my iceberg, I run 0x Degens. It's a Web 2 to Web 3 strategic advising company. Literally from project support from A to Z. And that grew out of just being a biz dev hyperconnector, I guess you could say. So everything from tokenomics, white papers, pitch decks, infrastructure support, a lot of layer 1 connections or layer 2 connections, basically, and then a ton of stuff with social media and marketing and guerrilla marketing and all of the fun stuff in between, legal structure and regulation, and then funding as well. And then officially, I used to be the director of business development and investor relations for StellaSwap, the largest DEX on Moonbeam. As we've sort of moved in a more forward fashion and really pushed through, I will be honest, I was sort of slacking at my job because, needing a full-time engineer sort of in that role that could really answer the tech questions right away rather than shoot it to a dev team. And so I've moved to, I see your hand, TB, give me 1 second. And plus, TB, you never need to raise your hand. You can just speak too, sir. But more of a lead ambassador role. So I'm helping us form ambassador programs around the world and sort of leading that charge. And then I work contracts BD for Hacken and Certec for the security side of things. And then I work for Banksa, which is like a fiat to crypto on-ramping and off-ramping solution. And then I do a lot of work with a lot of infrastructure projects that want support or need projects to build on them. And then Clopper is sort of my NFT project, but what we're doing at Clopper is a little bit different. We're not necessarily making a PFP project. We're funded right now. We're completely funded, and what we're doing is we're writing a new EIP for NFTs to own NFTs, and we have to do new EIPs. You have to create proof cases. So our utility proof case is our Clopper bottle, which your PFP comes to the bar that has a Clopper bottle, and our first proof case is going to be a story potion. And so it can then your NFT, let's just say Cool Cat, drinks the potion. The story that mints won't show a wallet address as the owner. It will show the Cool Cat and that specific Cool Cat as as the owner of it, and so it will then have that cool cat. The idea is that it will increase the value of that cool cat because that cool cat now owns other assets.
That's good. That's wild, man. I like that.
Before I get deeper into that, TB, I know you got your hand up.
Yeah, just soon as you brought it up, whatever. It was Zen. You're forgetting that you mentioned Zen as your project earlier.
Oh no! I didn't mention it as. So I am a community member of Zen.
Not yours, but I'm not trying to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I just mean it came up. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
It was Zen.
Yeah. No. For the fail, one of the things that I, where you had sort of talked multi-chain pieces was, and teaching people about that. That's sort of what Zen has sort of done. Taking people from ETH to Polygon to like OKX to Avalanche to Moonbeam to Doge chain, like 11 different chains, and teaching people how to get into that.
Nice.
So like that's been a fun project to be with since the beginning. Yeah, like the fact that we sort of shut down Polygon for a second with our NFTs because the network couldn't hold it. So
that's bold. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a jet here, boys, but it's been really nice to talk to you all and very nice to meet you. And I'm gonna leave you with the hopes that I will see you again soon.
Yeah. Before you leave, I know your role as co-founder of Goat Awards. Do you want to deep dive into that for those listening into the various forms of the stream? Or do you have to go and we leave that over to the Goat Awards? Because Goat Awards hasn't talked about it at all yet.
I mean, it's a little simpler than I'd hope, but at the same time, it's about the integrity. It speaks to the integrity of Soul Emissary, aka the founder of Goat Awards, as we were kind of bumped into each other in a few different projects, namely the project that I live in, which would be St. Degen, and the project that he lived in at the time would be the Goddess. And so we bumped into each other quite a few times over about a year, I think. And eventually he just pitched the idea to me of the Goat Awards company. And at this time in my life, I don't really have a lot of time. And I said, I don't know if, of course I'd love to, found this with you, but I'm not going to lie, I don't have a lot of time. I'm good to come in and be a talking head from time to time, but that's really all, sometimes I got to be gone in a minute's notice sometimes. I got shit that, just pops up, and he's like, oh, no, man, it's not about all that. And essentially, it's worked out between the people that I brought in, the people that he brought in, and then the people that they've all brought in. We've established a group of pretty talented individuals and just great people. And it's one of those things where the initial conception of the idea typically doesn't meet your standard once it's going, and that's just what happens. But the opposite happened here. It was almost like it happened exactly how he had hoped it would, and how I had hoped it would. Was the people that we brought in just brought in more good people, and I don't think we got one bozo in there, and we're close to 100 members now. I think we're halfway through goating individuals, and it's the collective is formed quite nicely so far, and it really speaks to the power of a community that's been put together for a purpose. you know, the purpose is to be the community and bolster each other's spirits and give the alpha and the knowledge back to your community members and support them. And so far, that's the only thing I've seen happening, and it's very refreshing. And there's the dev of the project, and he's the dev of a few other projects that Emissary's known him for quite some time, and he goes through and he derugs projects that's rugged, and you hear of projects being derugged, and they don't really, it's not really too successful of an endeavor when you just hear it on the surface, but when you actually see you see the results, and you see somebody actually doing it efficiently and giving people back the power to either choose to take their money back out of the project or continue because they found something in the project that they enjoyed in the first place. So you're basically giving people an option at that point, and that's like one of the people involved, and to me that's a very invaluable asset, because once you're done derugging one project, you gain the trust of, say, X amount of individuals more, right? So now you've gained that many more followers who are going to want to go with you to the next project, derug that one. Now you've gained that many more followers. And that's kind of what's happened so far with that. And that's just kind of one little part of the community. It's like, if you want to be involved in this, be involved in it. You know, it's just choices. Everybody's got the choices. And Emissary, like, he's such a busy guy and so authentic, so true, and it's inspiring to see the amount of work that he puts in to this, and it's everybody, it pays off, you know, like everybody there is happy, and it's not like there's really nothing too fun because there's no money coming into it at this point. So that's the kind of the whole aspect right now, and eventually it's going to become rewarding for anybody to become a part of the community because of the value that it holds. And I also learned that you know, through a lot of the projects I've been in, even in the BSC when it was just shit coins, you eventually band together with some like-minded individuals, and you find that you can make more money, or things will be more rewarding for you if you're just with like-minded individuals who respect you and support you, and vice versa. So I was in St. Degen when it launched back in July as a project on the Solana blockchain, and it kind of launched last July, had a big spike up, and then it crashed down, and then it sat at like 0.35 SOL per NFT for pretty much until December-ish. There's a few little pumps, but the thing that happened was everybody that was left there, they weren't there to make money. They were just there because they loved the founder, and they loved the art, and they loved the people that had already been there. So everybody that was there, like, there's people that had 0 NFTs, but they just lived in the server because it was like a home to them, right? And now things are actually happening, and it was one of those things where it's like that's a sign of a good founder. It's like there's no empty promises, there's no nothing. It's just like, hey, if you want to be here, be here. If you don't want to be here, fuck off. Like, this is what we're doing, full transparency. It's not going to be something that happens tomorrow, but every step of the way, they're also meeting new people, or you're introducing them to new people, or everybody in the community is kind of working together. And the way it works is it's just a slow build, and I'm a fan of slow builds, you know. And because if you don't have a slow build, you just have flippers. That's really all it is. I mean, there could be hype, a lot of hype, and unless you have a fully functioning product right out the gate, it's going to crash. And then that might be good or it might be bad, but no matter what, people are going to lose money because hype only lasts for so long. Hype only lasts until the next hype comes along, unless you're consistently putting out some kind of cutting edge announcement or whatever, or you can really band the people together for something. But eventually you're going to be running on lies or falsities or just smoke and mirrors, because the reality of the matter is it takes a while to build a lot of these things. So it's better off to say, like, hey, if you want to be here, be here. If you don't, there's the door, right? But this is what we're working on. I'm not giving you a date for when it's going to be done, because that's just like, I'm not saying deadlines, and accountability aren't something that founders should be held to, because we all know that's accountability has to be something to be looked at. But if again, it's one of those things where the more experience you have in crypto, the easier it is to spot somebody who's blowing smoke and mirrors rather than somebody who's actually doing something. Because I'd rather have somebody tell me they're working on something, they don't got fuck all the show for it right now, but stick around and you'll see in 6 months. I'd rather hear that than, oh yeah, next month we got game coming out, partnering with Sony, and we got Paramount Pictures looking at writing screenplays for our NFT collection, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'd much rather not hear any of that shit until there's proof in the pudding, because that's just, as soon as I start hearing shit like that, I'm like, I'm out. That shit's not happening. If that shit was happening, you would have proof right now, So, like, any kind of over-the-top kind of, things like that is just, I'm not about that. And so I found, like all of us have found, that community is the real value. And that's exactly what the GOAT Award Company is about. Is just the community at this point. There's amazing artists. Soul Emissary, he is an amazing artist himself, and he's been doing a lot of the work so far. And he's also invited the community, if they'd like to try working on some layers for the collection, to come in and shoot their shot and see if it works. It works. If it doesn't, then well, you still got to shoot it. Nothing to lose or gain, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot more people need to look at it that way, is get involved in projects where there's nothing to lose or gain, and you're really just there for the people, because that's where you're going to find the value, whether or not it's financial value. It's not all about the money, man. As much as we're all here to make money, it's you find like more value in other things, than just the money. Because as soon as you just get blinded by money in this space, especially, because once the money starts flying around, then it's like, what the fuck? Everybody starts going crazy, and like, it's just it's a lot less healthy of an environment than when there's no money flying around and nobody's losing anything or gaining. Anyways, that's my little bit of a spiel. I'm a figurehead. I'm very honored to be co-founder of the GOAT Award Company. It was something that I didn't expect, but I'm trying to do my best to keep the integrity exactly how it should be.
Can I ask you a question? You said a minute ago about derugging projects, right? Do you know who Jeffy Token is?
Yeah.
Jefe. Yeah.
I do. I can't say I do, no.
I sent a tag or whatever to Bodhi about him just now because he just put it in my head that I know one of these guys who derugged So you can look into it and check yourselves, right? I hang out with him sometimes and try and promote him. Basically, the long and the short of it is he saved some of the people from, don't ask me if it's Luna or Lunk. I don't fucking know. I'm too new, right? But he saved some group of people. And come here, when I say saved, they have a game that's like up, and they have like a whole actual genuine community from ashes, apparently. I would look into that guy for an award, maybe. You look into it, right?
Yeah, of course. No, it's good to hear, man. That's it's like I was saying, it's you don't really see too many people successfully doing that, and if people are crying out and saying like, don't do this, it's not like everybody's gonna lose their money. A lot of times, everybody's too high on the hopium or too fucking balls to the wall with the FOMO that they don't give a shit. They won't listen until they're lost their money, right? And I've tried saving people from projects before too. Even just like, I was like, in my opinion, I would take all your fucking money out of there right now, but just do me a favor and at least take half of your money out right now. It wasn't like a few days later they just straight stopped trading. So it's like I seen all the red flags were popping up, and I was just like, buddy, like all the signs are flashing here. You got to get out. And there's a in real life friend of mine, and he lost like $5,000 on it. But again, like I've been that person who would not listen to any reason whatsoever. And so when you have a following, a substantial following of people who can vouch for, and it just doesn't have to be, that's the problem, is as soon as you have a figurehead, as soon as you have one person who is like, let's say God, and it's like people are going to hate it because they don't like figureheads, especially the ones that want to be the figurehead. So then they're going to try rally people against that and come up with their own FUD. But if you have a community of people who's equally efficient at spotting scams, or not even calling people out, but just like essentially what our buddy's doing is he just comes in after it's rugged and be like, hey, do you guys want to be derugged? That's about all there is to it. And people are like, it's kind of even for myself, it's actually like a little bit of disbelief, but you should see the people in there afterwards that thought they've lost everything and they invested into it because they love the art or they love the community that was there already, and the founders just had other ideas, right? They just wanted to fucking rug and get on to the next one to make some more money, and that's such a shame. And so he's removing the shame and just giving people the power back to make the choice. Like, here, now you can like either remince the project, gets the metadata, remince the project, or there's so many different ways he goes about it. I'm not even 100% sure how he works his magic, but he does it, and I mean, like it's really good to see. And I think that's also going to be a bit of a new meta, is people doing that. But I hope it doesn't get too carried away, because then there will be the scammers will be coming back for double scams. Oh, we're derugging our project again, psych. I'm sure that's going to happen too. But it's the dawn of a new age for crypto, man, and it's really exciting. Look at the shit that happened so far this year. Bonk rose Solana from a fucking meme coin came out and rose Solana from like $9 up to $27 just because of the rally. Bitcoin just dropped an NFT capabilities out of the fucking blue. I was like, what the hell? Bitcoin has NFT capabilities now? I don't know, whatever Ethereum's doing. I don't keep track of Ethereum too often. Too pricey for my blood. But so is Bitcoin. But at the same time, it's interesting, man. There's a lot of things changing, and the thing is, like, without a lot of the adoption, is the technologies, the blockchain technologies themselves are still in quite an infantile stage. So to see them growing exponentially as well is extremely exciting in and of itself, because I mean, that's a really, it's already so much more efficient at data management and security and so many other things than any of the systems, any of the Web 2 systems that are around. It's so transparent. It's, I don't know, man, the sky's the limit, right? So I'm bullish. I'll be a bull till the day I die. Even when it's bloodiest bear market, I'm still bullish, because why wouldn't you want to buy that red, right?
Yeah, Bonk was one of those things where I did a little bit of on-chain analysis with it, and it was pretty cool to see, because they did a smart thing. They took like I think it was the top 45 NFT projects on Solana and airdropped the holders based off of how many was in each community. And I remember when like one of my main projects, Liberty Square, was like delist, snapshot coming, can't tell you what. And when people don't listen to Secret, don't want to know what's going on, I guess you could say. And I never had my squirrels listed, just for the simple fact that like mine were gifted to me, and my first one was gifted to me. My second one I actually won in one of the raffles, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm keeping these. These are my squirrels. My squirrel's me. And so it was, what I did with my Bonk airdrop is I sold half of it and then dropped both halves into LP pools. And what I saw on chain was that I think it was like 67% of the active wallets that were airdropped took that Bonk and added it back into the ecosystem of like LP pools. And so the idea behind that, really sort of pushed forward, looking at active participants, how much it can move a market, and you're right. Yeah. Solana went from, back at, $9, and I wish I had more money then to buy even more Sol. And because when people ask me what to buy into, I'm like, let's look at these things. Bitcoin is, yes, it is platinum bars. You should buy it because it's just going to go up in value. ETH is like gold. You put it in the freezer and under your mattress for the rainy days. Solana is like the silver. And then the altcoins of everything else are your traders and stuff like that. So. But what I would say is, okay, at its peak, ETH could 4x to hit its peak. Bitcoin could 3x to hit its peak again. It was down, to 15. So I was like, it could 4x as well, to get back up to 60. But Solana, I was like 10x, 25x to get back to its peak. So like, buy something at $9. And there's just a lot of potential in Solana that I really like. And with Metaplex coming out with compressed NFTs and stuff like that, it's heck, I remember when Just Worms got rugged. That was a little sad, but I haven't hopped in the community for a while, since trying to help out with a little bit with their derugging. Yeah, no, it's really cool to see communities come back together.
I made a fuck ton of money off of those worms, just remembering it now.
Hey, also, I wanted to hop in. Just Worms was derugged by CryptoFlan as well.
That was derugged by Flan?
Yeah, so I was a part of that. I'm actually a one-on-one artist for Just Worms as well. So They're actually derugged, and they're fully thriving right now. Community loves it. Yeah, that was like one of the first ones he derugged besides More Bears. That was the second derug he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember, so the lead dev that sort of took over at the time, having a call with him and sort of helping him like lay out, you know, some plans to sort of like find the other mods and stuff like that they can help you. And so that's amazing to hear. Like, well, like I know it's been sort of derugged. I just haven't been active. So I think the last thing I did, you know, all my new worms were staked, and I haven't even gone and collect dirt yet because I don't even know if there's anything going on with that. Or every time I go and see, like, my rain is and my mud is just sitting there.
No, so they're doing some new things right now. I would hop in the server though, for sure. Bit Mexican is the new founder.
Yep.
And he is actually really awesome. He's actually on the core team of the Divine Kids as well with us. So he's a little bit of everywhere right now, and you know, I've done some one-on-one pieces for him, and so has Billy from More Bears, and you know, it's crazy, man, because when you meet these people, and like we all follow Flan. I love Flan. Flan's like been one of my best friends in this space, and man, he's been derugging like crazy. I can't even keep up with it. Like I didn't even know that he did reveals before until Lolo corrected me, which is, I was like, oh, this is his first reveal. He's like, no, it's not. And I was like, what the fuck did he do? Like in the 2 months of time, I wasn't like completely aware. And he's like, no, he's done some reveals. I was like, well, I was not aware of those, and I must have been busy with my kids. But it's crazy though, because a lot of the people that he helps derug, they offer to help him in return by like being a part of a community that he's also derugging. So it's crazy because like he's building relationships with people by helping derug, and then they're offering to help him like help with community that he's derugging next. So like it's crazy how he's building this like slow community over time. And like me, for instance, right? I'm a CM in a couple projects, and also, you know, I do Go awards and whatnot. But then at the same time, I also help Flan with being some kind of core member of the team for any project he helps derug, and I'll help him because you know, I appreciate what he does, and that's what it's really all about, man. You're just like appreciating the work that people do, and then, you know, you involve yourself, and it's not even about getting your name out there, man. It's literally about doing the good for the community. And you know, like what For the Field said, you know, it's really about community is all it is. Like I don't really care about utility. I really don't really give a shit about it, to be honest. I don't care about staking. I don't care about all that stuff, because in reality, the reason why I got into NFTs in the first place was because the community, like, you know, it was welcoming, and that's really what kept me there. You know, I'm a diamond hand all the time. I hold my NFTs. I don't sell. I don't sell for profit. And, you know, a lot of people that know me, they know that I don't sell. And, you know, obviously we can see each other's wallets on, you know, Magic Eden and whatnot, so we can tell anyways. But, you know, it's all about helping other people. And, you know, if people get rugs, massive amounts of money, or even just a small amount, like, doesn't matter what amount it is, man. It's just like, you know, we follow Flan because like we love what he does, and you know, him derugging even. I call him, you know, more worms. I always do that every time I talk to him, because like I'm so used to hearing more bears that. Just worms just becomes more worms at one point, because I'm just so used to like seeing the founder in More Bears server and then eventually it became Divine Kids. He took over D Scully's. They couldn't take control of the project anymore, so he assigned all of the More Bears community, people that are helping out with More Bears or big holders or whatnot that want to help. We are all admins in there and all mods. We help with that server as well. So, we're all doing our part and we all care. So, definitely hop in Just Worms and see what's going on. He's got a good head on his shoulders and he has his good intentions. So he really does care. But I really think he needs a little bit more leadership in that server, obviously. Not every founder is going to be 100% accurate with their implementations of plans, but he's definitely a really awesome person and he really cares about his community. So anyone that has any ideas obviously is welcome to pitch it to him because he's definitely down for it. But man, Flan's been a little bit everywhere, man. So it's been a crazy journey working with him, and he actually minted all my Go awards for me. I sent him like 1.2 soul. He sent them back to me, and I've been gifting them out to people. That I want to gift him out to. So he's a really good dude, and he's someone to get to know for sure. So if you want to get to know someone that can do amazing things and he's a really good dev at the same time, he's definitely someone to reach out to. He's working with Solar Decks right now, still working with Tesmaphoria, still working with multiple projects to help them develop other things for future, anything, games, when it comes to any dev work, when it comes to, creating certain bots or sniper bots. D Scully's has a sniper bot out right now that is going to be coming to, mainstream soon, where it literally trades so accurate. You put a grand in there, or what was it, $1,000 or $10,000, and over the course of time, he traded, a little bit, 10,000, and then over 2 years, it made over $2 million. And he's testing it right now with real money on the actual, trading bot instead of DevNet. He's actually using it with real fiat, and so far it's been pretty accurate with how he's actually using it for DevNet. So he's creating a bot for their community, and they paid for it, and the people that are founding the project right now and their community is actually they paid for it. So they paid Flan for his work and everything, and it's going to be a really good utility for their project as well. And just stuff he's doing, man, it's just brilliant, and he's really wanting to help out communities, and he actually offered to do it for nothing, but they offered him some money to do it because he puts in a lot of work. And man, that's what it's really about, man. Appreciating people, putting in the time. And, as For the Field said, Go to Words is really about appreciating people. I give free mints to everyone that's a goat, and they're allowed to invite anyone who they feel necessary to be involved. And also for free mint. And then, Flynn's helping me create a token for, I'm not going to give it completely, but it's basically help to earn, you're being there for people. Now I'm not going to tell people to go out and be great, right, and earn, right. It's just you're recognizing people that are helping others, like I am right now. I'm recognizing good people, and I'm just goading them because I've seen their history. I look at everything, and instead of goading them, they're giving them tokens. They're airdropping them. Right, I'll be airdropping tokens to people that are helping others, and they won't expect it. I'm just going to DM them and be like, I'm dropping you some tokens. And then they're going to ask why. And then I'm going to tell them what I'm doing. And they're going to feel appreciated because that's all I want. I want people to feel welcome and appreciated that what they're doing matters. And they're going to take those tokens and then they're going to upgrade their roles in the server and become like a chosen one to a sacrificial entity in the server, and then they're going to become goats. And then from that point, they're going to use that kind of goat award, and they're going to use it on a resume for a CM or mod position, and they're going to have that on their resume to work for other projects, knowing that they're 100% like great people and official. And that's my main goal, is to help people get to where they want to be to help other people. And that is literally all I'm about. That's the main utility, is helping others to get to the point where they want to help other people, and other people recognize that they're good people. And that's all I want. That's it. That gold standard.
That's I'm liking it. I want to just sort of introduce Zach to the stage. Goat might be a connection you want to connect with. Zach runs Crypto Magazine.
Oh, damn. I'm going to be honest with you. We need to make a correction on that. I do not run the magazine. I run with the magazine. I don't want to take credit that's not mine. But with that, I really do appreciate it. It did make me feel like a big for a moment. But then reality came crashing down upon me, and I had to be honest with you. So, with that being said, the GOAT, they call me the Zoat. I actually have my own personal handyman business called Zach of All Trades, also known as the Zoat. I really like that. What you're doing there, that's a great thing. That's IRL. Here over in Cryptoland, one of my favorite things to do with this magazine is just meet all the different projects out there. I've come in contact with Mr. TacoBytes himself as the man, the myth, the legend, and along that way, it's been a short little trip so far. I have sponged up a lot of information from this young man, and we've shared some tears, shared some laughs already, and shook our heads and scratched them a little bit. It's good to see other people out there doing what you're doing. But yeah, let's touch base. I like the system and what you're going to put in place there, and recognizing it. That being appreciated is, you have no idea how long and a thank you can last for somebody in their mind. Like, I was appreciated. That goes so far for people. It's this simple act of kindness that, those are things I look for. I look for innovation. But look, sometimes that's what we need more of. We don't need more of money. We don't need more of this. On the other hand, I would always like more money. But not earning it off the backs of others. There's a fine line. I stand with a strong line in the sand when it comes to my integrity and setting an example for those around me, including my children. I don't believe in any of that, all of that, whatever hullabaloo you want to say. But the best thing I can do is I can sit here and tell you how great I am. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I tell you. The only thing I can do is by, doing it. I'm a doer. I like to get out and do it. And that's what I got from TacoBytes, Mr. TacoBytes himself. He's a leader, and he's got a lot of advice. He's got a lot of skills. He's got a lot of knowledge, and that's why I've been coming back here. So far, I've seen someone different every time I've been back here, and a couple of the same, and it's really good to see that. So, just keep going with what you're doing, and if you want to head up after the show, let's hit me a DM, or I can hit you a DM. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Zach. Shout out to Anton. I see you down there, sir. No, it's one of those things, So a funny thing is, I remember buying one of the issues of Crypto Magazine off the rack. Um, because Zach, you said it didn't start publishing until like May of last year.
Yeah.
It wasn't January. It wasn't January or February
Well,
of.
you know, it very well could have been. Let me look at the first copy. I have it sitting down in my office here. The thing is I started probably around issue 4 or 5, helping out another person that was working with them, and I was so unaware of what this was, but I just know that she needed this support. She was doing all these things, juggling all this stuff, and she said, "Can you want to come and help?" I said, "I don't know what that means, but okay, let's do this." And so from that point forward, I really didn't do any looking back. So I want to say it came in about 4, but I will tell you, there's been a couple months now. Notably because of, you probably understand the taxes in Q4, how that works. People in crypto have had money in there. They use that for families, for your Christmases and stuff, holidays. So markets kind of go down. That's the natural thing. Taxes being paid quarterly, yearly. December and January and February are typically really tough months for magazine sales if you're having a physical print. So we held off a couple and just extended our November, December down into Central. So you got 2 issues that came out, and they went up until this next one that's already out in the UK. But yeah, I believe it is May. To answer your question, May of last year. So that'll be 20. And I can't find my magazines. It's just a stack of my issue fixes. I'll get it for you in a moment. How about that? You keep going.
Okay. Yeah, no. I just, for some reason I feel like I got one of the earlier issues that I had used to try to educate someone that was close to me at the time, and it didn't work. But yeah, no. Knowing, meeting you in person, in December, and then continuing on that relationship, it's been good to see you around the last couple of times, and so yeah, I think I even saw you when I was I totally uninformed opinions, with Evil Plan. I think I saw you lurking down there.
I was lurking around.
Okay.
So I wanted to throw one thing towards you, going, and that was I had a project that I'm part of their core team, and I'm just on the outside of their core team, but they do have already a trading bot, and they load in 10 grand, and right now it's been averaging between 1,500 and $3,000 a month. And then that's supposed to go back to the holders. That actually is part of their NFT series. So maybe that would be another person we should probably get you guys in with. Because if it hasn't been made, I know the ones that we are using or they're using are working already. So just something to think about.
Yeah, nice. Shout out also to Irina. I see you down there. I hope you're coming to NFT NYC. I know you're just on the other side of the river. So, yeah, I hope life is good. It's been a moment. Good to see that you're coming. Anton, are you coming out here as well? You better come up on stage, sir.
All right, guys. I'm gonna jet. It's been good to talk to all of you.
For the fail, it was amazing getting to meet you, and thanks for joining us. This episode of TacoBytes has sort of taken a slight detour from. It was just meant to be a Discord purge, So Goat sort of threw that.
Well done.
Yeah.
The unexpected, that's what I live for, man. The unexpected.
Exactly.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure, and we will talk soon, hopefully.
All right. Hey, for the fail, I have to do this to you as I do for every guest that is on the show and leaving. 10 seconds on the spot. Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom?
Yep.
Don't be a fuck.
All right, everyone, you hear that throughout the interwebs. Don't be a fuck. I will agree with that. That is a good way to do and that spice. And hey, thank you so much for joining us tonight, man.
Thank you for having me. It's great meeting you all, and we'll definitely talk soon.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Anton, are you gonna come up or are you just gonna stalk? I'm gonna send it. You're getting a co-host invite. Irina, just because. Yeah. You too. No more stalking allowed. I don't know. TB sort of saw this. I don't know, TB, if you saw this, but one of the posts that you had put up ended up, I think, getting like copy pasted by a bunch of bots.
Oh, was that real? I thought, oh my God, I misread the context altogether. That's so funny. I thought it meant because Sir Kernahan showed up. I thought you meant because Kernahan. I thought it was to do with the tweet. Shit.
No, it's sort of hilarious. Like if I basically copied the entire text that you put out there, and just put it into the search bar of Twitter to find all the posts after like finding 2 of them. I think there was like a total of 4 or 5, and it was sort of hilarious that your post got like copy pasted by bots. So you're doing something.
Is that your first day on the ChatGPT? Is that what you did? ChatGPT?
I don't know. I must have made ChatGPT angry, asking for it to kill Discord.
I'll be able to ask ChatGPT 7.
Anton, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Yo, happy Easter, everyone. End of the day, Easter.
Happy Easter. Happy egg hunting day.
Yeah, it was cool. I got to, I had like an alone 30 minutes. I was able to hide some eggs at the end of the day after I worked for the kids. And, just kind of finished up the day and kind of late. But, yeah, I saw you were still running your space. I was stoked I was able to hop in. So just seeing what's going down. Looks like you clearing out your Discord a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It is 200 groups, and I need to I don't know how I'm going to pare it down, because I literally like will scrape groups off just so I can join 1 or 2 more. It's really hilarious getting that you cannot join this server because you have to leave server messages, and I'm like, I would think Discord would allow you to be in as many servers as you want, but they do not.
Do you do do you subscribe? Do you do any of the boosts at all?
I do. So if you don't subscribe, you're limited to 100 groups. If you do subscribe, you're limited to 200 groups.
Wow. So even the subscribers are limited. And I was wondering if you are capped still if you're subscribed. Even if you get like the most boosts, are you capped, or is it?
Yep.
Wow. Huh. Well, I mean, I guess 200 is probably more than any human should probably try to handle, although, I mean...
Yeah, I can't even keep up with the ones I have so far.
Yeah.
200 sounds crazy. I mean, not that I can keep up with 5,000 Twitter profiles that I follow, but...
Right? I can't even believe it. When I go through my follow that I see it, I'm like, dang, it's kind of crazy to think about all the interactions you made with all these people, because, I mean, it might even be, the 3,000 something plus that I follow that I've actually had some kind of real interaction with, which is crazy. You go to like the grocery store, you interact with someone, maybe you say hi or something like that. You never have tabs on it again. This way, it's, I don't know, it's totally crazy. But yeah, man, haven't gotten to 200 yet, but I've definitely had to pare down. So have fun with that.
I am not. Because I'm making fun with it too, and saying goodbye. Like I'm departing like an airport. You know, and you know, I gotta have some fun with it. But it's one of those things to where the groups that I am leaving are still active and super active and doing really cool building things. So hopefully maybe someone else can find one, find something that I'm leaving and can find something cool there.
Yeah, I have a hard time leaving. Like all those Discord chats where I don't know if you've had any where like you have like group chats and like some people leave and I'm always the last one to leave.
Yeah. Yep. I'm usually that person too. Not because I want to be, but because I think I don't know if it was Fail or if it was Goat that said it. When I buy something, I tend to hold on to it until it goes to zero. So I like to say, diamond hands or rock hands. I don't know.
Yeah, have you checked out the new the OpenSea Pro at all by chance?
Yes, I have, and I don't know
the perspective there.
I don't know how. Like, am I not cool enough to be like every time I try to go claim my Gemmy, it says I'm not part of the community, and I'm like, wait, what? So I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know what the threshold is for using it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I used it several times, and probably up to over a year ago, and I got my one claim. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I heard too, and I heard after the fact. So I just heard that it was happening, and I saw that it was like 0.06 or whatever. So I paid for mine. But apparently, the older it is, the rarer it is. So, I don't know. I don't want to go back and look and see what rarity mine was or not. But yeah, that's a bummer. I think I've heard some people not being able to claim too. So.
Yeah. Well, if you already have one, but you didn't mint it, you could try and mint one.
Well, yeah, no, I did. I minted it.
Okay.
But I sold it. it was free ETH, and I had my eyes on something.
Hey, yeah, definitely. One of the things I do like with the new Pro feature is the easy mint search, and I just went and minted a whole bunch of free things, and just paid a shit ton of gas.
I just started scrolling that myself actually. Because yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of extra things in there, but I like how it breaks everything down, and yeah, it really puts into perspective, holding diamond handing or at least zero. But I mean, at the end of the day, I was kind of thinking about it. I mean, you spend money on experiences every day, and you don't really ever have anything to show for it for the most part. And at least this, we have these connections, and I think that there's little wins along the way that we all get, and it just keeps things going for us and interesting.
Yeah. It's cool. I sort of like their cross between. One of the cool things that I like with it, and I think I saw the same thing in Blur, but how many people are actively having orders on it at one time, so you can sort of actually see the in time minting or the in time trading with it.
Yeah, they have like the spread too now, the wheat offers, and I think there's more analytics where it shows the breakdown of them too as well. So yeah, I mean they definitely clap back on the Blur takeover. I feel, and for me, I mean, I think the big thing with it is the mobile aspect of it. I think the UI is like web, but you're able to do it in mobile on my iPhone anyhow. So. Where Blur you can't. So I don't know if have you seen any analytics on what the ratio is right now? Is it still pretty Blur heavy, or has it gone away since the all the farming kind of ended?
Well, I know a lot of people are still still doing farming for season 2. And I know that I think I saw that season 2 got pushed back an extra month of people that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they were pissed about that too, I think.
And so the one thing that, you know, I think that OpenSea has going for it is, you know, the fact that it has so many different chains, especially with it pushing a bunch of Gala stuff. I'm looking at it right now. Gala's, you know, made it into the top four, you know, top is number 4. You know, ENS and Rarible, followed by like Skelecode, but I don't know what that is. But that they're aggregating over, it says they're aggregating over 170 marketplaces. So, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of like the Google almost of NFTs. You know, it's right up there. So I mean, it's at least it's trucking along. I mean, you know, the one thing though is I think a lot of people are building their own marketplaces now and starting to lead that way. Yeah, everyone's, you know, redeploying new contracts with royalties built in and wanting to do their own marketplaces. It's really interesting to see how those are going to play out going forward, because I think I don't know, it's like a big risk. I understand it, but you know, who knows? I mean, what do you feel about that? How do you feel about people trying to do their own private thing versus using a big aggregator like OpenSea or Blur?
I think if anything, it promotes safety and a standard. Blur did a really funny thing to get around, you know, OpenSea, because OpenSea, you know, was open source with Seaport. And so when they started to say that, you know, they wouldn't support NFTs that were being sold on other marketplaces to protect royalties, you know, Blur then used Seaport, and so that people could still set their own royalties. I 100% believe in royalties, you know, especially as a trader. If a project has made something that I'm going to make money off of, and not be a part of, I definitely think that royalties should be in effect. Even as a trader, that just needs to be, that has always been marked into the cushion for trading. So it's one of those things to where having traders and, you know, flippers, literally people that are just coming in to move the market, you know, and make money and not actually participate, being able to determine like, hey, that, you know, there shouldn't be royalties, I think sort of takes away from the idea of, you know, ownership. And, you know, we've always sort of talked about artists finally getting paid for the work that they do. And that should be for communities too. You know, if you're building a project that is providing utility, you know, to your holders or even to the ecosystem in general, you know, whether you're relying on mint or not, you know, you might be relying on secondaries, because I know a lot of projects that are smarter, they put royalties in place so that they can put mint price lower, so more people can get into it, because they're playing the long game, you know. And so, yeah, I think.
Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, I feel like yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think that it is a case by case basis. If for some reason the project can swing it, then, you know, whatever. I think that what was a big thing. I guess my main point of bringing it up is just, you know, there are projects that are wanting to kind of go solely on their own thing, and, you know, I just worry about liquidity for the community at that point, kind of, if it's not going to be something that people want to use. But I think that there's no way to totally block it. So I think that, like with OpenSea Pro, someone should technically, unless I'm not really 100% sure how that works, because I mean, I know there's like private marketplaces people try to make and try to have their communities use and whatnot. So, you know, it's just interesting. I feel like the flexibility is still going to be something that will come into play, and that as any founders or people of projects, I think that you're just going to have to still work around it, because people, I think, are going to be able to sell around any of it unless it's built into the contract, like people are doing too.
Yeah, you know, and as that sort of builds up, it's one of those things to where, you know, yeah, I think building it into the contract is one of those things to where, it sucks that we have to go that route, but it's one of those things also that I think that is pretty amazing that we're able to do.
Yeah, I mean, it does that. It's like the whole trustless, aspect of it all. You don't have to worry about it. It's just kind of like set and forget almost built in. So, yeah, I mean, I think that is, and maybe in hindsight, that's what how it should have been done, maybe from the get go, so that the marketplace couldn't dictate that for us.
Yep.
And so yeah, I mean, I guess it's difficult for people that already have the contracts already kind of built out. Migrating the whole community, and can be costly depending on what chain you are. So I know a lot of people are actually going over to Poly. Is there any other chains that you're seeing that are popping up more and more right now? People are migrating to.
I'm seeing a lot more action within Moonbeam, the EVM chain of Polkadot. There's a lot more building on there. Yes, I am biased because my DEX is on Moonbeam. And the community, there's some big stuff happening there that we'll talk about later. Well, we got a huge ecosystem grant and to incentivize TVL growth and incentivize users, and to adopt stickiness by showing a better UI. Especially on the LP side. So like LP farming, is still a thing. And, 2 of our pools launched some really awesome TVL pieces, incentive pools tomorrow or later today. So I don't know. I think that's one of the big things. I'm seeing a lot of stuff in Hedera as well come out, and Cardano NFT projects. CNFT was pretty amazing. I like the fact that, originally when it was first billed as happening, it was billed as 50 projects. Then I got the update that 75 projects had signed on. Then I got the update that 100 projects had signed on. So that meant to me, in my head, I was like, oh, that means that 50 projects signed up and sent their checks. And, another 50 are, on their way. But when I got to CNFT, 2 things. One, they kept the price the same, at like $20 for GA. Even though ADA had sort of crashed, they left it at like 60 ADA. So it was like $27, I think it was at the time, to get a VIP ticket. But I had an exhibitor pass. So I thought that was really amazing. And there was 150 projects there, all building different things, from real life utility pieces to race car games to, 3D animation stuff to, PFP projects that might not be in the price range of like, sort of what we see in ETH, but also at the same time, like a lot of projects that were, creating long-term value for their holders. So I don't really think a lot of chains are out yet. And obviously we're seeing a resurgence in Polygon right now. With the Utes moving over, I think that really shined a light, with the Avail Foundation splitting off to be able to offer child chains, aka like layer 3s, to projects to build on for gasless transactions. We're seeing a lot more user integration, I think. And a lot more projects are integrating like Magic Link so that you don't have to set up a MetaMask wallet to integrate with Web3. How many apps do you download where you have to use your phone number to verify or your email to verify who you are? If these steps just walk you through, it's really easy for people to have wallets that are, across many different platforms. And so, and access them anywhere. So I think stuff like that is pretty amazing. So there's so many things out there, and then Solana always has things coming out on it, which is pretty cool, that I really enjoy, especially on the decentralization side of infrastructure and tech. Yeah. One chain I was disappointed in was Aptos, though.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, because I guess I originally learned about all the chains during, like the altcoin, season and whatnot. And, now the few that are sticking around, like the Hedera and like Cardano and whatnot. Like, yeah, I mean, it looks like they're all performing pretty good for the year, kind of along with most everything. It seems. Well, not most everything, but they're definitely one of the top contenders. And do you have any ADA NFTs?
I do.
What wallet do you use for it?
I use Yori, I think it is. Let me see. I have.
Ooh, I think I have a Yori. I didn't know that they held it.
Yeah, I think I have to like export my seed phrase into another wallet to see my NFTs, but or like to see the images, but I can see them as items within assets and stuff like that. So.
In which one, Yoroi?
Yeah.
Wow, that was the one that I tried to transfer from and like lost everything when I tried to transfer to my Trust wallet. I mean, not that I had that much. I was trying to transfer some Cardano NFTs from the Royal Dreads, 3 of them, and like so I just hit like transfer all items, and it like didn't go to the Trust wallet. I don't know.
No, that was like one of the first wallets I ever set up, and I had problems with it too, but I had done it so I could stake some ADA with, so that makes sense why that would be the NFT wallet. Yeah, I already have it.
That would be like the big piece on those, and then the opposite side of that, I see, one, Irina, I hate hearing no stories. That's, I.
Did you say you had to do something to see them? Because now I'm just wondering if there's like. I don't know if maybe they are in some weird place.
Yeah, they're probably, if you sent them to your Trust wallet and you sent them to the correct address, one of the things that you could do is pull your seed phrase and insert it into another wallet, to where you can actually see them. That's an easy way of like transferring assets to another wallet, is just by importing your seed phrase. But one of those things is making sure that you're using a wallet that is legit. So going through ADA's website, through Cardano's website for like their desktop, and they actually have some good, let me find.
Like put the seed phrase from the Trust wallet into another.
Yeah.
Wallet?
So if you look at like the Daedalus wallet is a good one, and I'm trying to see real quick NFT wallets real quick. Give me just a second.
I have pulled some a BSC token that I had staked out and put it into my Trust, and it said it transferred, but I didn't see it. But I can't see it, so I don't know if there's some kind of problem with that. But I think that, I mean, did you try to download it, the token or whatnot, in the new Trust wallet too? Because I know that sometimes is the problem.
Yeah, adding the NFT itself. I don't know if it can support ADA NFTs.
Yeah, it let me take an address for it, but only the regular ADA, which I don't even know where that came from, like a tiny amount of it. It transferred that, but it doesn't look like any of the NFTs are there. But my Ethereum NFTs, if I transfer those, which I hate how much gas that takes, and so now I'm interested in Solana, but those ones went through. I can see them.
Yeah. I would, one of the things you can always do is take your ADA address and just put it into the Cardano Block Explorer, and it will show you exactly what's there. And we have a hand. Goat.
Hey man, I do have to sign off though. I do have work in the morning, and I gotta get the kids ready for school. But I just wanted to say I appreciate you, and yeah, thanks for having me up and talking. And I was glad to hear everyone talk as well, and about other chains as well. I love learning everything, so I do appreciate everything that you've done. And Yeah, unfortunately, I have to go to bed, but yeah, we can catch up on another space soon.
Awesome. Yeah, no. It was great meeting you, Goat. Thank you for joining, TacoBytes, and putting me on the spot and making me blush. So, yeah. But thank you, Yeah. So, have a great time with your kids. I know we're going to probably close this down in the next half hour. We did not do a very good Discord purge tonight, or talk DeFi, but I actually have to get ready for NFT NYC in the morning. So,
Oh yeah, bro.
yeah, like a good Degen does.
Yeah, man. I'm really appreciative of you, and I'm sure you're gonna have a blast in NYC. I'm not too far from there. I'm from Massachusetts, so I might show up. Maybe not. I don't know. But I really hope you have a good time there. And if I don't show up this year, I'll definitely show up next year for sure. But yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing. Your positive vibes flow, and I definitely nominated you tonight. So I DM'd you as well, and hope to see you there. And have a good rest of the space, man.
All right. Hey, thank you, Goat. And as always, Goat, as you leave, 10 seconds on the spot. Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom is do your own research, man, and always be kind and appreciate other people in the space.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Goat. You have a great night, and it was amazing meeting you.
You too, man. Have a good night. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. Yeah, no. That is sort of that has been a good key piece, doing your own research. Yeah, no, Irina, I would check out maybe like Flint wallet. It's a desktop wallet. I'm trying to think of some other mobile wallets for other than Daedalus. Daedalus, you can run on your phone as well. So you just have to import your seed phrase, and it would populate there. So yeah.
Yo, yeah, man. It's late for me too. I gotta roll out, but yeah, I mean, have a good time in New York. I know. I think Khan will be there from Mutant Ape Life, and Alicia should be there too. And I know Khan's gonna be wearing his Mutant Ape Life shirt, so I told him to. I think he's gonna be looking out for you anyhow. So yeah, man, have a good time. Are you gonna be?
I'm gonna be out and about. I got my mutant shirt. I just saw though that I might have to get a new one because the one I got is starting to get a little worn from wearing it so much.
Bro, I think you might. Yeah, I mean, we might have to get you another one. So far, so good on those. You know what I ended up getting was we made up another. We have the store back opened up again. There's a limited amount of merch left right now, but I got one where it's just like the logo on the sleeve and then on the chest, like on the heart.
Yep.
Like a little smaller.
Okay.
It's pretty slick. I've been rocking that. I got like a whole Monday through Friday on it, so yeah, maybe we can get you another one.
All right. Yeah, no, definitely. It was fun getting stuff out. Yeah, no, getting stuff out, getting bags out at NFT Miami, stickers out in Austin. It was fun. So
that's dope. Yeah, no, appreciate you offering up that, and always a pleasure listening in and seeing what you're up to. It's cool to see, man, and yeah, I definitely want to try to catch this next one if I can.
All right, definitely. Anton, thanks for joining us tonight, and you have now started to see what you have to do when you leave. 10 seconds, words of wisdom.
Let's see. I would say that just remember whenever something comes at you and it just really throws you off and you're upset and you're mad about it, just to give yourself some time and deal with it, and remember that just like everything else that's happened in the past, we'll get through it.
All right. That's a good piece. Thank you, Anton, so much for joining us tonight. And we're gonna close up tonight. And Surin, I see you down there. Thanks for joining us as we get to close up. So we're gonna do one last shot around the room. Closing thoughts before we go to those last pieces. Zach, Crypto Magazine. Closing thoughts in 10 seconds.
Mountain Zero. And I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike.
I really think that if we take all of these recordings together, we're getting 12 words together. Oh, man. Zach, thank you so much. TB, 10 seconds, words of wisdom.
I keep meaning to prepare to do the words of wisdom sometime.
Okay. So that is the words of wisdom, to prepare for the words of wisdom. All right. TB, thank you as always for joining. Irina, it ends with you tonight. 10 seconds, words of wisdom.
Just keep swimming and stop by the Brain Slum booth at NFT NYC and let me know about Friday events.
All right.
That's where I'll be. I'm just working there. I found myself, an NFT NYC gig so that I can definitely be there.
Awesome. Yeah. There should be a People's Web3 pizza party Friday night. So that from the mouth of J Chains. And as always, my closing thoughts and words is thank you everyone for joining us tonight. It has been an honor and pleasure for hosting tonight's TacoBytes, your daily bite of Degen, episode number 234. Small Discord purge. Check out Stella Swap and the Pulsar pools that are getting incentivized. Some cool LP Degen shit there. And as we end with the greatest joke on the face of the planet, as we've ended every single episode of TacoBytes with the best joke on the face of the planet. Knock, knock.